Hello, everybody. This is Darren Dunlap with the Fargo-Moorhead West Fargo Chamber. And this handful of deliciousness that I am working on comes from the recommendation of the owner of Sandy's Donut Shop, Mark Osland. So, Mark, first of all, thank you for the recommendation for this, the Bavarian cream light chocolate
There you
donut.
go.
And thanks so much for joining us as we help celebrate Small Business Week. We couldn't think of a better person to feature this week than yourself and Sandy's Donuts. So thank you very much for doing that.
Well, thanks for having me.
I guess the first thing that I wanted to start out with Small Business Saturday. So, but let's talk about Sandy's. So tell us about the locations that you have, and I believe you actually have a couple of drive-throughs as well.
We do. We have 3 locations now. Newest one in Osgood on 45th Street there, in front of Hornbachers. And we also have one downtown, right by the Fargo Theater. And then, of course, our one in West Fargo, right on Main Avenue and Cheyenne Street. And the West Fargo and the Osgood have drive-throughs.
Okay, well, perfect. Well, my next thing, and I think that everybody would be curious about this, is now everybody who's been to Sandy's, of course, and every day you have fresh donuts. So could you just give me a ballpark idea as to what kind of volume do you guys produce on a daily basis?
Well, it does vary according to the season. It's a seasonal thing, but on average, probably about 10,000 donuts a day. In the fall, like when we have a big, like a NDSU game day in the fall, which I'm hopefully we'll have again soon. We're making probably close to 18,000 donuts a day.
Okay, well, I can't imagine that kind of capacity. So, what time does your team start the baking process?
Well, we actually run about close to about 12-hour shifts. So we're starting about, 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and we're working all night. Our deliveries go out at 2 a.m. So we have to have everything done, boxed up, and out the door at 2 a.m.
Wow, that's fantastic. I love that. So I guess my next question would be, when you walk into Sandy's, of course, you see the backdrop and there's all of those wonderful looking donuts, and it's very hard. You make it very hard for people to choose what they should get. But now how many different types of donuts do you guys make?
We make about 75 kinds now. That's kind of what I think is the appealing thing. I love to walk in and you see that wall of donuts and all the choices, and you brings back memories of as a kid and going to the donut shop or local bakery in your small town and walking in and seeing all the choices. That's what makes, I think, Sandy's Donuts special.
Well, I guess the next question obviously would be so of all of these different varieties of donuts that you have, what's the most popular with people?
Well, we probably sell the most glazed donuts because that's just a standby. The another popular one would be a Bavarian cream with light chocolate like you had, the one you were eating. Yep, there you go.
I am
And
still eating too, by the way.
yeah. And then a real popular one is the angel icing donut, which is like a light white fluffy frosting inside. That's a very popular one as well.
Well, I guess, so one thing that I'd like to do a little bit of nostalgia here. So Sandy's Donuts, obviously, Sandy is a close personal relation to you. So I would love it if you'd tell us a little bit about the namesake of Sandy's Donuts.
You bet. Sandy's Donuts started when my dad lost his job and tried to figure out what to do, and one of our friends said, "Why don't you open a donut shop?" So that's exactly what he did. And he used to make donuts at home, so we used to love eating his donuts at home. So he started a donut shop, and here we are, 38 years later.
Wow, that's interesting. So, it's interesting how you've expanded the business model. So did you come from a chef's background, or how did you get involved with Sandy's, other than being cheap labor like a lot of us kids were to our parents?
That's kind of what happened. I came home from college to help. My parents needed some help. They're actually sleeping in sleeping bags at the donut shop. So I
Wow.
came home to help, and I've been there ever since. I tried to go to college again for business to help with the business. I was so busy I wasn't able to do that. So I just kept working, and I think my dad and I both kind of just it's something we just learned as we went. You know.
These are crazy, crazy times that we're living in, Mark. With COVID and shutdowns, and I can't even imagine how difficult it is for our restaurants and for our service industry people. So I guess I really wanted to touch base with you on, how has COVID-19 really affected the day-to-day operations of Sandy's?
We have been affected. I want to first say I'm very thankful that we are where we're at, and we are not hurting like some places are. Like now, there's some new things going on in Minnesota and closing down things again, and I'm very thankful that we are where we are and how we've been doing. Thank you for the support from our community as well. We had some sales go down when COVID started. We closed our seating down right away. And we've had our wholesale and corporate stuff because no one was going to work anymore. They were working from home, so corporate sales were down. And we kind of were brainstorming, what can we do to try to keep our sales up? Because that's kind of the name of the game. So we started delivering to houses actually in Fargo, and that was fantastic. People thought, well, I'm working at home, I'll get donuts right delivered to my house. So that was amazing and worked out well. And then we thought, why can't we do that out of town? So I just posted on social media one day on Facebook and said, hey, I'm going to come to Fergus Falls. And it was like 3 days later. And just give us a call and place an order. Well, that was fantastic. We had like 210 deliveries. We had 5 drivers and 5 vans go to Fergus Falls the first time. It was just phenomenal. So Detroit Lakes was the same thing. And even little town of Oaks, North Dakota. We had a lot of deliveries for that. It took like 3 drivers the first time. So it really worked good for us. And that's been kind of what's kept us doing well this time.
So, Mark, when you decide on these towns around the area to deliver to, what makes you, how do you choose those towns?
Well, first of all, we try to choose a town that doesn't have a bakery or a donut shop or anything. We don't want to step on toes, or we don't want to hurt our small business. We're not in it to hurt somebody else. We're in it just to try to do our thing. And so we look for that. No bakery or donut shop. And then we look for a town that's going to be a decent size, but it's surprising. Sometimes, like I said, Oaks and Lisbon, North Dakota, those small towns have been actually pretty good for us. So it doesn't have to be a big town, but we're going to choose a town that's going to be decent size anyway.
Mm-hmm. And what town doesn't love donuts? Seriously.
It's been amazing how many we keep choosing one and it works out good. And we're going, wow, that's awesome.
Mark, one of the other things you touched on was business deliveries, and I know that we at the Chamber have been very fortunate to have people send us some Sandy's donuts, and including yourself, and we're very appreciative of that. But tell me a little bit about the business model and how you approach working with your business clients and how they can be in contact with you.
We do a lot of business delivery, and we have a website. You can order right in the website. We have an app, actually, a mobile app. You can go on your phone, and you can actually order donuts you can actually use the app in the morning or during the night. You can actually order on the app and have it there in the morning right away. So it's, and actually during the day even. So this morning at 8 o'clock, if you decide you want a donuts, you get in the app, and you can probably have donuts within an hour. Delivered right to your business, or actually your home as well.
That's a dangerous thing, though, Mark. If you get that little hunger pang, and then all of a sudden it's like, I could really use another one of these Bavarian cream donuts here. That this handful of deliciousness, as I called it, that is unbelievable. That's dangerous. You're putting us all at risk here, Mark.
We're counting on that. That's what we need.
Uh, well, it was interesting. You talked about social media, and I know when we visited a little bit, you said that's kind of your baby. Has that really been what's been behind the real growth spurt that Sandy's has had recently?
I think social media plays a big factor for us. I mean, we're the type of business that social media works great for. I mean, we have, like you said before, 75 kinds of donuts every day. Well, all the pictures of donuts and things we can take and be involved in. We can be involved in the community. It's just a perfect social media business. So we post on our Instagram and Facebook page and Twitter, and it just seems to work great for us.
Mark, as we wrap this up, and we're so thankful to have you in our community, and we're very thankful you've taken the time. And I'm guessing you must be getting close to having to bake donuts again here, based on the clock here and what you had just said. But one of the things that I really did want to touch base on is the visibility that Sandy's has within our nonprofit community. We've got so many of our nonprofits who are chamber members and who are really, really struggling during the COVID-19. But that's not the only reason you're involved with it. You had a long-standing relationship. I know last week you were just doing some things with the United Way. And I know that you do some custom decorations for the Ronald McDonald House. I guess I'd really like it if you wouldn't mind touching on the fact of giving back to your community and the importance of nonprofits to Sandy's Donuts.
Well, we are very thankful at Sandy's Donuts for our community and their support, and we do love to give back. I mean, this is a great community. Our whole community loves to give back, and there's some great nonprofits we involved in. Like you said, Ronald McDonald House, we love doing that. Helping families with children in the hospital. That's a fun organization to be involved with. United Way. We do some things with New Life Center. We just did a fundraiser for the Gladys Ray Shelter on Veterans Day, because that's also a Veterans Drop-In Center. So we do something with them. It's just Salvation Army National Donut Day, which is our biggest day for donuts, of course. The first Friday in June is a Salvation Army fundraiser, because that's kind of where the whole Donut Day started, was Salvation Army and the making donuts for the troops overseas. So that's a big one for us, but we love being involved. It's fun. That's kind of one of our core values is fun, and being involved in the community is definitely fun.
Mark, there's a stereotype that all police officers love donuts. And now, can you confirm or deny that particular rumor that's been going around for many, many years?
Well, I don't think someone want to admit it probably now because of the stereotype, but I actually delivered some donuts to a police station this morning. Not in town here actually this morning, but one of our out-of-town deliveries. We delivered some donuts to a police station, so I'm pretty sure they still like donuts.
Well, as I said before, who in the world doesn't love donuts, and especially Sandy's Donuts? So, well, Mark, on behalf of the Fargo-Moorhead West Fargo Chamber, we want to thank you so much for taking the time to visit with us today, especially during as we celebrate Small Business Week in our community. What a perfect representation of our community and small business Sandy's Donuts is. So, on behalf of the Chamber, we want to thank you for your commitment to our region and to our nonprofits. And let's keep those donuts going, folks. Get onto social media. Let's get onto the app, and let's get some donuts going. Let's make these guys work even harder. 12 hours a night isn't enough to be making donuts. We got to get you going even further, Mark.
Sounds good to me. Well, thank you. We are very thankful for being part of this community. It's great.
Mark, thanks so much, and we'll hopefully run into you again very soon.
Sounds good. Thank you.